I always thought the stories about the old asylum were just that, stories. But curiosity has a way of making fools of us all. That's why, on a dare from my so-called friends, I found myself standing at the rusted gates of Blackwood Asylum one moonless night. The air was damp and cold, and the place reeked of decay, though it had been abandoned for decades. My flashlight beam barely pierced the darkness as I stepped through the yawning doorway. Inside, the silence was suffocating, broken only by the faint creak of the warped floorboards under my boots. Just one picture, I muttered to myself, gripping my phone tightly. All I had to do was snap a photo in the main corridor and get out. Easy. But as I walked deeper into the asylum, I noticed something unsettling. My footsteps weren't the only ones echoing. They were slow, deliberate, and always just a fraction of a second behind mine. Hello? My voice quivered, but the sound was swallowed by the vast, empty hall. I shone my flashlight over my shoulder, revealing nothing but peeling paint and crumbling plaster. That's when I saw it, a door at the end of the corridor, slightly ajar, emitting a faint, yellow glow. My instincts screamed at me to turn back, but something about that light drew me in, like a moth to a flame. I pushed the door open slowly, the hinges letting out a groan that made my skin crawl. Inside was a room unlike the others. It was pristine, untouched by time, with an operating table in the center and medical tools neatly arranged on trays. But the most unnerving thing was the figure hunched over the table, its back to me. It looked like a doctor, long, white coat, bloodied gloves, but its movements were wrong, jerky, and inhuman. Before I could back away, it froze, as if sensing me. Slowly, it turned its head, revealing a face that wasn't a face at all. Just darkness, where eyes, a nose, and a mouth should have been. My breath caught as it reached out a hand, long fingers dripping with something black and viscous. It didn't lunge at me, it didn't scream. It just whispered, in a voice that echoed all around me. "You're not supposed to be here." The lights flickered, and in the strobe-like flashes, the figure appeared closer and closer. I bolted, sprinting down the hallway, the sound of footsteps, many footsteps, now thundering behind me. When I reached the entrance, the door was gone. Only a solid wall stood in its place. I banged and clawed at it, screaming for help, but the darkness behind me was closing in. Then I felt it. Cold hands gripping my shoulders. And now, I write this, hoping someone will find my phone. If you're reading this, don't come looking for me. Whatever you do, don't come here.